Hi and welcome to Data Coder. In this video, I am going to discuss about the basics of PROC SQL in SAS. If this is your first time to the channel, then subscribe for more upcoming videos on base, advanced and clinical SAS programming. Let's get started. So let's see the syntax to write a PROC SQL query, and whatever the statement we write in PROC SQL, it should always start with PROC SQL and it will end with a quit statement. And in between the PROC SQL and quit statement, we need to write the SQL queries or SQL clause. So here the first statement is the select statement. In the select statement, we need to select the columns we want to display in our output dataset or output report, and the order how we want to display in the output report of those columns. Then next is the from. In the from statement, we mention the input dataset or source dataset what we want to read. So next we have different clauses according to our requirement. We need to use them. So the first one is the where clause. The where clause specifies data that meets certain conditions, and based on those conditions we need to filter our data. Next is group by, and group by clause it groups data for processing. Next is having clause will filter the groups that meet certain conditions. Next is order by clause specify an order for the data. So here we can sort the data based on either ascending or descending order according to our requirement. So please note the specified order of the above clauses within the select statement is required. So this where group by, having order by, and these clauses are required how in which order they are presented over here. So if we are using group by, then we need to use them after where. So we can't write first group by then where. Okay, so first the where is to be written, and after that the group by is to be written, and it's always according to requirement. So according to requirement we need to write the SQL queries to get our desired output. Next is PROC SQL valid statement. So this valid statement tests the syntax without executing the query and prints error message for invalid queries in log. So this won't execute the your code, but rather it will check the syntax. If the syntax is valid or it's not valid, it will print the error message in the log. Let's see one example. So here first I am writing a basic PROC SQL query. So it will start with PROC SQL. Then I am writing select star from SAS class. So here in the select statement I have selected all the variable. That's the reason I have mentioned the asterisk, and from the input data set is class. Now I will end this. Now if I'll execute this query, I'll get a report over here. Okay, so next we'll see the validate syntax, and if here instead of I'll write validate, then it won't execute the query, and the note I have got in the log is PROC SQL statement has valid syntax. So to check your syntax, we can use validated statement. So the next is no execution option, and this no execution option it will explicitly check the syntax errors without the code execution. It won't execute the code, but it will check the syntax. So here when we use this no execution options, it will be applicable to all the PROC SQL queries. So what we need to do, once our requirement is done, we can use this reset option. Okay, when we use this reset option, this statement to add or change PROC SQL options without restarting the procedure. Either we can close our SAS system and restart it, else we can use this reset option to deactivate these options. So next is PROC SQL select statement. So this select statement is used to print all of a tables column in the order in which they are stored. Okay, if we want to print all the variable from our input data set and we want to retain the order how it is present in our source data, then we can use a star in the select statement. Okay, and we can use a statement called feedback. It will expand select statement to the SAS log use feedback option. Okay, to expand select statement to the SAS log use feedback option. So this star will be expanded to all the variables, okay, in the log if we use this feedback option. So let's see, let's go to SAS. Here I am removing this feedback, and now I am writing select star from SAS.class. If I do that, I got a output and the log, the variables are not uh, ex expanded. So now here I write this feedback option, and now if I'll execute this code, the output has been generated, but in the log if you see sashelp.name, sashelp.sex, sashelp.age, sashelp. Sorry, class.name, class.sex, class.age, class.height, class.weight, all this the select statement, whatever the value was replaced by the star, all the value we got in the log statement. So this is how we can do it. So now let's go to, okay, so to specify the column names and order, if we don't want to print all the variables, then we can give the selected variables separated by comma, and what is the order of that we can mention that as well. Okay, so now let's go to SAS. Here I don't want all the variable, let's remove this feedback option. So what I name 6 is, I just want 3 variable, and the order also I need in this way. So now if I'll execute, I got only 3 variable, and if I want to change the order, then I can do that, name age 6. So now if I'll execute this, the order has been changed, and whatever variable I want, I got them in my report. So next is creating a new variable in select statement. How can we create a new variable in select statement? So to create a new variable, we can write in this way: select the original variable, the name, sex, age, then age divided by 2. I am doing this calculation, and whatever the output will get after doing this arithmetic operation, I want to store that value in a new variable called modified age or mod age. Okay, so age by 2 is mod age. Age by 2 will be executed, and the value will be stored in this variable mod age. If we don't give this column alias, then SAS will give its own name. Okay, either we can provide a alias or SAS will give its own name. So this is the creating new variable. And next, see, creating a new variable conditionally in select statement. So based on certain condition, I want to create the new variable calculation. I want to change the new variable calculation. So here if you see, select name, sex, age, case, when sex equal to male, then age plus 2 by 2. When sex equal to female, then age plus 1 by 2. Else age by 2, and age mod age. So all these calculation will happen, and the result will store as mod age from sashelp.class. So this is one syntax, as we have this another syntax. Okay, PROC SQL select name, sex, as case sex, when male then age plus 2 by 2, when female then age plus 1 by 2, else age by 2, and age mod age. Any of this syntax we can follow, and we can create the new variable conditionally. Okay, next go to SAS and see. So the first is age by 2 is mod age, This is the simple calculation. If I'll execute this, the mode has been created, which is 8 divided by 2. So 14 divided by 2 is 7. I got this. Okay. So this is one. Next, I want to conditionally derive this value. So what I can write, case when sex equal to male, then age plus 2 by 2 is when sex equal to female, then age plus 1 divided by 2, else age by 2 and age modified age. So what it will happen if the sex equal to male, then age plus 2 by 2, else if sex equal to female, then age plus 1 by 2. If these two conditions are not satisfying, then age by 2 will be the mode modified age. Now let's execute this. Oh, sorry, there is an error. Now it has been executed. So so the result has been generated accordingly. According to the condition, the result has been generated. Okay. So now this is how we can create a new variable conditionally. Next, see the next concept. So removing duplicate rows. To remove duplicate rows, we can use this distinct keyword, and the distinct keywords applies to all column in the select list. So now let's go over here and let's see. Let's just select sex. So we have here, if you see, total these many observation. Now if I use distinct sex, the duplicate will be removed. Only we have unique values of male and female. So this is how we can remove duplicate. So how many variables you present in you give in the select statement, the distinct will be applicable to generate a unique value based on all these variables. Next is subsetting data with where clause. So now I want to filter data using where clause. So here, for example, I want to filter data where age equal to 12. So what I can write, PROC SQL select name sex age from self.class where age equal to 12, and it will give me the value where age equal to 12. Now here we have created this new variable, and when that new variable I want to use in the where statement, we can't use it directly because this select statement will execute after this where statement. So now the variable is creating in the select statement, but the where statement will execute before the select statement, and it won't find this new variable in the data set, and it will throw an error. Okay, so to overcome that, we need to use where calculated modified age. When we are creating a new variable and using that variable in the where statement to subset data, we can use this keyword calculated. It will give us the result. Let's see. Let's go to SAS and see. So now here, let me remove that, and as I'm keeping self.class where is equal to 12. If I'll execute that, I'll get this value where age equal to 12. Now let me create a new variable age by 2 is modified age, and here let me use that variable. Now I'll get an error saying that following columns are not found. So now to overcome this, what I need to write is calculated, then if I'll execute, I'll get So calculated modify is equal to 12, there is no data. So let's change the condition greater than 12. Uh, let's see if we have any data. Greater than 12 also no data. Greater than, let's give 6. Greater than 6, yeah, we have data. Okay, we have data over here. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to the channel for more upcoming videos on base, advanced and clinical SAS programming.